Timothée Chalamet's return in a potential Dune 3 may be complicated over something that's totally unrelated to his acting. Here's why the idea of the Oscar-nominated actor reprising his role has his director talking about AI. At the beginning of Frank Herbert's 1965 novel Dune, Paul Atreides is only 15 years old. By the time he survived an assassination attempt, moved into the desert, and became a messiah for both the Fremen and the Bene Gesserit, he was only about 17 or 18. In Denis Villeneuve's recent film adaptations of Dune, Paul was played by Timothée Chalamet, an actor who was 23 when shooting began. He's 28 now. Either Paul was aged up for the film, or Chalamet is playing a teenager. Either way, Paul's age is unspecified. In 1969, Herbert wrote a sequel called Dune Messiah, which took place 12 years after the events of the first novel. Spoiler alert for the book, Paul, now 30, is the Emperor of the Galaxy, raising 2 children, and has instigated a galaxy-wide jihad that has killed over 61 billion people. Paul struggles to retain control of the desert planet Arrakis, while various shadowy organizations undermine his authority. After many twisted conspiracies, Paul exits into the desert, having shed his god status and regained his humanity. While Chalamet would be age-appropriate for a potential Dune Messiah film, the actor has been blessed with boyish features and clear skin that confuse his actual age. A 30-year-old Chalamet wouldn't necessarily look the part as Emperor Paul Muad'Dib, which is something Villeneuve has thought about. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Villeneuve complained openly about Chalamet's frustrating youthfulness and how it would interfere with a potential Dune Messiah movie. The actor was amused by his director's frustration, saying he didn't write it. The interviewers also asked Villeneuve if he would have to wait the necessary number of years to make Dune Messiah so that Chalamet looked the right age, or would a new actor be required? Villeneuve merely stated, "He will look forever young. We'll have to use the magic of AI." Digital de-aging and/or aging up is still something of a dodgy proposition in 2024, as it rarely looks completely right. Film technology is advancing all the time, however, and Villeneuve would perhaps employ the correct ultra-advanced digital tools to make Chalamet less youthful-looking. Or, more likely, Villeneuve would cast Chalamet as a 30-year-old Paul, not worry about how old he looks, and simply depict Paul as a father of Leto II and Ghanima. Villeneuve drained out several supernatural elements of Dune, keeping it a socio-political action thriller more than a high fantasy. He will have to directly face the magic soon, however, as there are ghost possessions, transferred consciousness, and other eerie psychic phenomena in the story going forward. As the Dune world becomes wilder, it will likely be unconcerned that a 30-year-old actor still looks 25. The good news is that it's likely that Chalamet will be in his early to mid-30s before the cameras start rolling on a Dune Messiah movie. He and his co-star Zendaya have both expressed that they're keen to return for another sequel.
You know, I would agree with you.
However, Villeneuve has joked that he and everyone else who worked on the movie are sand traumatized from their time spent filming on location in the desert. Zendaya recalled that the still suit she had to wear in the movie would get heavier and heavier throughout the day as sand accumulated inside it. After making Dune and Dune Part 2 with no gap in between, Villeneuve is ready for a break. Not a real break, but just a few weeks to sleep, as he clarified in an interview with Uproxx. Then, rather than going right back to Arrakis, he wants to stretch his filmmaking muscles a bit by making something non-Dune related. Villeneuve told the outlet, "There are many stories that I want to do, and I have a lot of projects. And of course, I love Dune. But it's like, I think it could be interesting to do a small movie, and then go back to Dune after, just to give a bit of breathing and to create a little bit of distance."